Sets up a 3rd and 13.
With good coverage here on Brown, just absolutely takes everything away from him by pushing him to the sideline. Sideline is the extra defender.
Brown has seen Carr, he's seen Smith, he's seen Humphrey, and flags come down.
False start, number 74, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Chris Hubbard.
Yeah, another penalty on their offense of the Steelers. 7 penalties against the offense for Mike Tomlin's Steelers.
8 overall, costing the Steelers 60 yards. So this has turned into a 3rd and 18. Operating out of the gun. Roethlisberger throws it. Caught underneath by Jesse James. Trying to make a move upfield. Cannot. Anthony Levine helped make sure that James would not break free. 7-yard pickup. Steelers will punt.
Well, when the distance needed is so long, you can just sit back, rush 4, and then drop 7 into a zone. And that time when James caught the ball, he was surrounded by Ravens,
including Terrell Suggs. Jordan Berry punting to Michael Campanaro. Campanaro dealt with injuries each of the last 2 years. Back injury, calf injury. This ball bounces high in the air and out of bounds right around the 22.5-yard line. 19-9, Pittsburgh. Ravens get the football back. Third quarter action continues.
A couple of big scores to tell you about. We can tell you that Carolina has stretched their lead. Cam Newton with a 7-yard touchdown run. He's become the first quarterback in NFL history to have 50 rushing touchdowns. The Carolina off by 2 touchdowns over New England. And the Rams are on top of Dallas. Todd Gurley with a 3-yard pass from Jared Goff. So we are going to talk a little bit of good Joe Flacco and bad Joe Flacco. The good news is we finally got some good Joe Flacco as well. But let's start with because I like to be grumpy every now and then, Sean. Let's start with the negative.
Bad Flacco. We saw him miss a wide open receiver in the end zone, something they really needed. We take a look here, and on the passing tree, we call this, as Solomon pointed out to me earlier, the 9-7-3. The outside receiver runs a 9 route straight up the field. Then we get a corner route by the inside receiver like this, and then a short pattern from the third receiver. When we run this forward, we can see that, given the opportunity, he has a wide open receiver, no one around him, and he just misses it.
And that's the bad Flacco. He's got to be able to make this throw. In the NFL, receivers rarely get this wide open.
Right.
And so they're leaving what we call points on the field. Instead of getting a touchdown, they had to settle for a field goal after getting the turnover.
Right. So we talk about accuracy. It's not just about how hard you throw it.
Right, and we were wondering what happened to the Flacco we grew to love and admire, and then he shows up.
Sean.
He shows up.
Here he is.
Good Flacco. Same alignment, 3 receivers down at the bottom of your screen. We get the same type of movement. But this time, with the defenders closing in, Flacco gets it done.
It's a great throw, by the way. We call this just throwing the ball, threading the needle. Right. Very small window to complete that pass.
Yeah.
Mike Wallace. Watch you get a second look at it here in between the defenders. Watch this throw. This is the good Joe Flacco. He's shaking off the rust. Look at him thread the needle between the defenders.
You say a window. That's a window that's basically slamming.
Absolutely.
Right.
Great accuracy on that throw. But what we're seeing is the inconsistent Joe Flacco. Had they scored the 2 touchdowns on this possession, they would only trail by 5 points. Right now, they trail by 10.
But they have started to help him out. You talked about that, Solomon. You called for that. They create the turnover, and then Alex Collins has the big run as well. So we are going to talk about Joe Flacco, but he's going to need some help, and he got a little bit of that, didn't he, Sean, so far?
Absolutely, and we'll get back to that later on.
Flacco has thrown down Cameron Hayward. The pressure building on Joe Flacco.
Well, with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, we've had a lot of action. This interception, controversial as it was by Eric Weddle, then a windblown 44-yard missed field goal by Boswell. Big play for the Ravens, his 50-yard run by Collins. He's so important.
Down. Mike Wallace just across the 40-yard line. It covers 14 yards.
That's really good timing between Wallace and Flacco. Watch how quickly Flacco decides where to go, and then with pressure from Hayward right in his face, he slides another one into Wallace between two defensive backs.
Give it to Collins. Spin move doesn't get him much. He was popped by Ryan Shazier, gain of 1.5 yards. Evan Washburn, check in with him.
Well, I'm spending a lot of time around this Baltimore team, especially on this sideline. You can sense that there's just a feeling of almost relief to be able to see success. Remember, Joe Flacco hasn't thrown a touchdown pass since they played the Browns. So to see some smiles between him and Jensen and Mike Wallace, especially that wide receiver group that's been under the microscope, and you're starting to see that confidence build. Joe plays at his best when he's playing fast and with confidence, Joe.
All right, thanks, Evan. And just to add to that, looking at the offensive line, Illuminor is now in there at right guard. They're targeting Wallace a lot more now, and Wallace very close. See where they spot it. It will be enough for the first down.
That's the quickness that Evan was talking about. Flacco, no hesitation at all. Reading the defense, there's Wallace sitting right between the linebacker and the safety there. Beating Bud Dupree to the inside, and Flacco right on target. He's throwing with a lot of confidence at this point.
Terrence West now in the backfield with Nick Boyle set up in front of him. Final seconds of the third quarter. And Flacco will use a timeout.
This is the first charge timeout, Baltimore.
It seems like 2 steps forward, 1 step back for the Ravens.
Coming up tonight on CBS, don't miss the premiere of the new crime-solving drama, Wisdom of the Crowd. Jeremy Piven stars tonight after 60 Minutes, only CBS.
Remember this timeout with 8 seconds to go in the third quarter. In a 10-point game, timeout's crucial.
Yeah, the issue there, as the wide receivers have been a bit more involved, the play clock was less than the game clock, so Flacco had a decision to make there. Would have had to accept the penalty and lose the yardage. Instead, use the timeout. 8 seconds to go in the quarter. West on first down is blown up by T.J. Watt. Loss of 2 on the play. Watt has had an impact for Pittsburgh. 19-9 at the end of 3. We'll come back to Baltimore after this message. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
NFL on Sky Sports. Brought to you by DraftKings.
Be one with innovation and embrace victory. Hangul Tire and Real Madrid. Together as one. Be one with it. Hangul Tire, global partner of Real Madrid.
What a drag! Looks like your engine is clogging up with dirt. Over time, DP Ultimate with active technology eats up the dirt, like 1,000 ravenous piranhas. Engines cleaned with DP Ultimate could give you up to 21 more miles per tank. I'll be here if you need me.
Don't show up to my show if you've got no energy.
Where in Britain you live, things, people, places, they're all moving forward, all the time. How far we've come can't always be measured in miles. But from one generation to the next, we never stop heading that way. Introducing all new Ford Fiesta. Together, we go further.
This October, Sky Sports' dedicated channel bring you all the drama and passion from the sports you love.
Here's Lukaku. And what a wonderful finish! This is going to be so close.
Feel it all this October on Sky Sports.
NFL on Sky Sports, brought to you by DraftKings.
Welcome back. New England have closed to within a touchdown of the Carolina Panthers midway through the fourth quarter. Dion Lewis with an 8-yard touchdown run for Carolina lead that one 30-23. Jacksonville have just closed the gap on the New York Jets. Miles Jack took a fumble, 81 yards for a touchdown for the Jets.
Alex Collins, the intended target on that 2nd and 13. It's incomplete, and now it's 3rd and long for Baltimore. Steelers 19, the Ravens 9. 16 of the 21 meetings since 2008 have been decided by 7 points or less. Pittsburgh leads the all-time series with a mark of 25-21. Shotgun on a 3rd and 13. Flacco steps up. Flacco gets leveled by Bud Dupree. 4th sack for the Pittsburgh D.
2nd sack of the season for number 48. He gets chipped on his way to the quarterback and then just finds a lane right up the middle. And all the momentum that the Ravens had built in the 3rd quarter is gone, and we've got an injured Raven.
Yeah, deeper concern for Ronnie Stanley, the second-year left tackle from Notre Dame. They are checking out the right leg of Stanley.
He got rolled up on by that sack. Dupree and Flacco kind of landed on that leg of his.
The number 6 pick in last year's draft, up on his feet and getting a little bit of assistance from the training staff. They just don't have a lot of options left on that offensive line. Bergstrom inactive, Joseph inactive. We've seen Illuminor now at right guard replacing Matt Skura. Sam Cook the punt. Antonio Brown doesn't even go over there to touch it. And it settles in at the 14-yard line. That's where the Steelers will take over after the 47-yard kick. On Monday, the Ravens unveiled their $1.5 million renovation project at Baltimore's Renaissance Academy High School. Benjamin Watson appeared, met students at the school, which received larger classrooms, including updated science and art rooms, fresh painting, and new lighting in a food pantry and laundry room for students in need. Ravens trail 19-9. Pittsburgh has the football. 320 yards of offense for the Steelers, 145 for the Ravens. Steelers had won 9 straight regular season games until last week's loss in Chicago. Bell. A hard slice by Bell crosses the 15 for 2.5. NFL Today update. Back to New York. JD and Nate.
And I can tell you that the Buffalo Bills have just gone on top of the Atlanta Falcons. Haven't got the exact yardage yet, but Stephen Hauschka 56-yard field goal, I'm being told now. 56 yards for Stephen Hauschka. So that score has gone to 20-17. Buffalo lead in Atlanta.
That's there. 2nd and 8 for Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger, pump, a little flip for Bell, and he's dropped at the 20-yard line by C.J. Mosley. 4-yard gain sets up 3rd down for Pittsburgh.
That's 4 catches on the afternoon now for Bell. Steelers going right back to the way they started the game by featuring him in the run and the pass game.
Third and 4 for the Steelers. Roethlisberger knocked down, rejected Willie Henry. And the Steelers go 3 and out.
Defensive coordinator Dean Pease bringing the heat this time with the blitz. And there's Henry now, again with perfect timing. Had his eyes on Roethlisberger. Swats that ball out of the air.
Gary punting, Campanaro standing at his own 35-yard line for Baltimore. Not much of a rush. Barry sails this one to the 31. Blocked by Campanaro, scoops it up with a flag down. And Campanaro takes a hit at the 44-yard line. Roosevelt Nix on special teams. 48-yard punt, 13-yard return, and a penalty marker at the 40.
This is a big penalty, too, because they would have got the ball at the 45-yard line after that return.
Holding number 36, receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. The first down, Baltimore. Timeout.
Yeah, that was Harbaugh's bread and butter prior to being a head coach.
Another busy Sunday in the NFL. Let's get you caught right up to speed. There's Cam Newton's touchdown run for the Carolina Panthers.
I see you, Cam.
Yeah,
I see you.
Done. Dion Lewis.
Oh.
Running backs can get wide open as well.
Yeah. With that kind of quickness.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like a video game.
Deshaun Watson has accounted for 5 touchdowns tonight for the Houston Texans. This one is an 8-yarder to Lamar Miller. They're all over Matt Castle and the Tennessee Titans now. There goes Devin Cole.
Wrong guy, Matt. Wrong guy to go to, Kevin.
Double agent. Up over 50. Here we see Josh McCown throwing the ball to his running back, Bilal Powell, before he's even turned around. Miles Jack picks it up. They ruled this a fumble return. 82 yards. He just wins the foot race, Solomon.
That was just a great read by Miles Jack on that play.
Needed that to get back in the game.
Talent.
Needed that to get back in that game. And here's Jared Goff going to Todd Gurley. Oh, nice.
Wow.
Somebody
blocked as well. You see that?
Dallas Cowboy players laying all over the field.
Todd Gurley has scored his 7th touchdown of this season. There he scores. Of course, we had that final at Wembley Stadium early tonight. So, Gurley, 7 touchdowns, 4 rushing, 3 receiving. Sean McVay said, I want to make a point of not only growing Jared Goff, but I want to grow and get Todd Gurley back in.
That's been the big issue for the Rams. They drafted this kid out of Georgia. Gurley was expected to be Mr. Everything. Extremely talented, but without a quarterback and a passing attack, they load the box, and he really can't show all he can do.
He had a good rookie season running the ball, but you saw last year it was a disaster. They changed out all the coaches. They bring in Sean McVay, who had been the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach with the Washington Redskins. Took that same offense. You could see now Jared Goff developing, beginning to flourish. Certainly with guys like Cooper Kupp, Austin as well. They are now flourishing. You get the ball to Todd Gurley, good things happen.
Rams have just kicked a field goal as well. So they stretched their lead to 29-24 in Texas. Greg Zuerlein with that kick. Pittsburgh, no second half points for them, Sean. Is this on the Ravens defense or the Steelers offense?
There is a change in momentum. We saw that. We realized that their backs are against the wall. Again, we keep talking about this. This is for first place.
Yeah.
Now, the Ravens haven't been playing like it. Now they're starting to realize that.
Where he took a major shot. The penalty backs them up to the 22-yard line. Ravens down by 10. Flacco sets and throws. Good timing with Macklin. Momentum carries him towards the sideline for an 11-yard gain through the air. Let's check in with Evan Washburn.
Line, let's start with Campanaro. He was examined by the UNC. He looks to be quickly cleared from that concussion protocol. As for Stanley, they were examining his right knee. No added padded or brace, so we'll just have to monitor that stability.
Flacco. It glances off the hand of Wallace as Flacco was under some serious pressure.
That serious pressure from Cameron Hayward, who already has a couple of sacks today. Check out number 97. That's just a bull rush to it as well, going low on Flacco.
14 of 23, just 108 yards, the touchdown to Mike Wallace. Second and 10 for Baltimore. Watson the motion man. Here's Collins. Tried to spin off and couldn't break away. Vince Williams and Ryan Shazier there defensively. It's a 1-yard gain for Collins. He'll head to the Baltimore sideline. And now they get the personnel in there for a 3rd and long. Collins, 8 carries, 81 yards, the majority on the one big play, the 50-yarder. Dime package here for Pittsburgh. 6 defensive backs and a 3rd and 9 for the Ravens. Squeezing it in there. It's complete. Benjamin Watson. The arm strength of Flacco. He zings it in. Ryan Shazier had an opportunity at it.
Yeah, Sean Davis as well. You can see Davis comes flashing in here late. Look at Watson grabbing this ball, pinning it against his leg here.
Terrific grab. First down, Flacco, bootleg. Oh, he threw it to the other team. Ryan Shazier with the pick. L.T. Walton put the heat on Flacco, and Shazier was in the perfect spot. Turnover, Baltimore.
And he's trying to find Watson again over the middle. Here comes Watson. Now watch Shazier with this reaction. He spins all the way around, picks up Watson visually, and then finds the ball. Another spectacular play for Ryan Shazier. And just what the Steelers need to jumpstart their team.
Shazier had a pick the last time these two teams played in Pittsburgh. And for Flacco, that was a panicky throw, dealing with the pressure and hoping that Watson would get free.
Well, the pressure was key because he'd been able to get the ball out of his hand pretty quickly, but that time too quick.
Flacco has been intercepted in 10 straight games. Pittsburgh with the football and a 10-point lead. Bell pressing the line and turning it upfield. Le'Veon Bell picks up 4 yards across the 45. Tyus Bowser with the hit. Big smile for Ryan Shazier. And for Le'Veon Bell, he's cracked 100 yards.
Yeah, Shazier had a rough go of it in Chicago. He missed a number of tackles. He did make 11 tackles. But today he's been real solid. Almost got a pick on Watson on one play, comes right back on the next play and picks it off.
142 combined yards from scrimmage for Le'Veon Bell. 2nd and 6 for the Steelers. Feed it to Bell again. Bell tries to keep the legs churning, but the Ravens don't let him slip through the crack. Tim Williams, first man there. 3-yard gain for Bell. The rookie from Alabama makes the stop.
Let's go back to the interception and shows you what type of athlete Shazier is. Just follow him there on this play. He's got to set the edge there, make sure that it's not a bootleg, recognizes Watson on the crossing route, and then reacts to the ball.
Flacco didn't expect to see Shazier there.
Nope, no way.
3rd and 3. Roethlisberger dials up the deep ball. Some separation, but too far. Martavis Bryant in a matchup with Brandon Carr. Steelers were looking for the kill shot.
That might have done it too. This is a wasted opportunity because Bryant, with all that speed, he had about a 3-yard margin on the defensive back. And Big Ben knows it.
Martavis Bryant suspended all of last year. We asked Roethlisberger about Bryant and what he's seen this year. He says, hey, he shows flashes, but it's challenging to miss a full year and then play at a high level in the NFL. Barry trying to place it. Campanaro, fair catch called for. There's a crowd of Steelers in the area. 5 of them. And it was touched right around the 15. 28-yard punt.
NFL on Sky Sports. Brought to you by DraftKings.
Balance shouldn't just be financial. It's about doing what you love. And if your money's working hard without you needing to, you can enjoy getting the balance just right. That's why our 123 current account gives you interest and cash back on selected household bills every month. Here to help you prosper. Santander.
Introducing the new Volvo XC60 Human Made.
This is Sky Sports Action and Arena. 2 channels for the all-round sports fan. Watch first-class action from England and Ireland Rugby Union International. Be in the arena for World Championship darts, boxing and WWE. See up to 5 live NFL games a week at the ATP World Tour Finals. Feel it all with Sky Sports Action and Arena.
NFL on Sky Sports. Brought to you by DraftKings.
Steelers were trying to put away the Ravens, could not. Baltimore still has life with 9:33 to play, trailing 19-9. Javorius Allen is in the backfield for Baltimore. They give it to him. Second wave on Allen stops him with Sean Davis. Forward progress for a gain of 3.
Now this is what Big Ben wants to see. Here's Martavis Bryant, and there's not going to be any help back here because it's man-to-man throughout this route. There's the speed, the 3-yard lead, and then the overthrow.
A pass to Nick Boyle. Boyle in his 3rd year with Baltimore out of Delaware, 13 yards and a first down for the Ravens. So the play selection, based on the circumstances in the game, is not following along the trend that we've seen this year. Baltimore is actually, heading into this week, run the football more than any team in the NFL. 54% of their plays were run plays, highest percentage in the league. 30 passes, 14 runs today. 31 passes now and caught by Mike Wallace. Hit immediately by Artie Burns. And a 5-yard gain through the air.
Now, the only running plays you're going to see now are going to be draw plays because the pass has got to be featured. It's an up-tempo, no-huddle offense now out of necessity for the Ravens, trailing by 10.
2nd and 5 for Baltimore. We come up on 8 minutes to play here in the 4th. Flacco, a quick release. He hits Javorius Allen, tripped up. Joe Hayden over there, 7-yard catch and run for Allen, and another first down for the Ravens. Line of scrimmage is now the 43 for Baltimore. They're up to 197 yards of offense. Allen remains in there. He flanks Flacco. Flacco, soft toss to Benjamin Watson. And crosses over into Pittsburgh territory down at the 49. 8-yard gain, hit by Ryan Shazier along with Vince Williams. Clock is rolling. 2nd and 2 for Baltimore.
A little bit of confusion on the alignment for the wide receivers with Macklin and Perryman.
Shotgun. Flacco looks to the other side. Makes the connection with Javorius Allen. Out of bounds after picking up 4. Chased down by Bud Dupree. And they'll move the chains once again.
The clock continues to roll even though he got out of bounds. Clock will not stop on a player going out of bounds until 5 minutes here in the fourth quarter.
Allen with 3 catches, 17 yards. Flacco is 5 of 5 in the drive. Look out. Flacco floats it too high for Collins. And it was Mike Hilton.
Well, Hilton got a sack earlier in the game on a similar type of play. So Keith Butler, defensive coordinator, likes the speed of Hilton getting in on Flacco, causing this ball to sail high. He had blockers out in front, too, with Jensen and Skura.
So Skura back in there at the right guard position. Flacco, touchdown and a pick in this second half. Collins gets the call. Flag thrown as Collins finally wrestled down. They're going to mark him down at the 42-yard line. 8 penalties against Pittsburgh, 5 against Baltimore.
Number 77, offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Well, that's another one for the Ravens. That's 6 now, and it's Austin Howard at that right tackle position.
Again, a couple of positive plays, and now this penalty pushes them back an extra 10 yards on second down, but their passing game just doesn't seem to be able to connect with long plays that can offset those type of mistakes.
Flacco, pump and throw. Hits his man Jeremy Macklin, so they get back some of the yards with Mike Hilton there in coverage. Flacco did not play in the preseason, was dealing with a back injury. There was a legitimate question whether or not he would be able to play in the regular season. And Flacco maintained that he was going to be ready to go. Ravens opened up 2-0. So even though the offense wasn't necessarily clicking, they were winning games. Flacco gets out of trouble. Flacco broken up. Hilton with Macklin.
Well, Hilton's timing was absolutely perfect there. Stanley again late and slow getting up.
And now it's 4th down.
Now that's what that holding penalty will do for you.
Ravens have to go for it. They trail by 2 scores with 5:48 to play. They need 12 yards to keep this drive moving. Allen in the backfield. Flacco on 4th and long. Flacco throws, knocked up in the air, and intercepted. Mike Hilton off the deflection. And he goes down at midfield. Ryan Shazier back there for Pittsburgh. Flacco does not have the answer. The Steelers defense again making it happen. They're in control here in the 4th.
So much to tell you about around the NFL, starting with this interception of Matt Ryan in and out of his receiver's hands. Micah Hyde, the free agent signing from Green Bay, with the pick led to Stephen Hauschka 55-yard field goal, makes it 23-17 to Buffalo. Atlanta are playing without Julio Jones, who injured his hip and did not return in that game. Here's the 55-yard field goal. Wow. You should have said spoiler alert, seeing as I'd already said 55-yard field goal.
That's right.
There we go. Dak Prescott is under pressure. This is a good game going on between the Rams and Cowboys. Mark Barron comes up with the turnover. And now we're going to go to New England. Can Tom Brady get it done on 3rd and goal? Ball in and out of his receiver's hands.
He's better on 4th down.
They've got to go for it, right? Here we go. Let's have a look then. Back of the end zone. See? Danny Amendola.
Brady.
Let's go back to Dallas. 2-point conversion for Dak Prescott. That has come off the board. And he has just thrown an interception on the extra 2-point try. So, not sure what the penalty was, but Dak's 2-point conversion came off. And then let's show you this is what happened. It was for holding, offensive holding. Now Dak under pressure, Rams holding on. Dak throwing it up, and Mark Barron with the interception. So, wow.
He was scrambling. He was just trying to get it up into the end zone. Hopefully someone just comes down with it. That's what you do on a 2-point conversion.
Typical Sunday in the NFL with so much going on. Another interception for Joe Flacco, though. Solomon, you're frustrated with what we're seeing from
Baltimore. Earlier, Sean and I, we did something at the board. We showed the good Flacco and the bad Flacco. That trend has continued. We would see one good play where he threads the needle, another one where he has a horrible decision throwing interceptions to Ryan Shazier. Then he throws another one where there's more Steeler defenders than there were receivers for the Ravens.
Guys, I can tell you as well that there was defensive holding on the Rams on that 2-point conversion. So Dallas are going to line up and try another one to see if they can tie that game up. New England have tied it up. They were down by 2 touchdowns. I mean, there's some of these favored teams have been on the ropes tonight. New England found a way back into it.
That's a theme we've seen over and over again for years.
Exactly.
Right?
Many times, right, Sean?
Le'Veon Bell finds a running lane, and Bell leans forward. Brought down to the 42-yard line.
Well, Flacco's trying to get the ball into Campanaro. Here's Shazier. This is the target spot. Because it's only a 4-man rush, the Steelers in their zones here, and the reaction and athletic ability of Shazier to get up in the air with the left hand and knock it over to Hilton. How about this day for Hilton? His first career sack and his first career pick.
Hilton, in his first year from Mississippi, has been on the practice squad for Pittsburgh and New England, undrafted free agent. 2nd and 3 for the Steelers. Bell adding to his numbers. Le'Veon Bell. They could not bring him down. To Castro and Nix with key blocks. And the numbers are impressive. 131 yards on the ground. That's a 21-yard rip.
Again, DeCastro on the pull and Nix. And he set it up perfectly for both blockers. Let them get into their defenders, engage with them, and then split them. And then he stayed in bounds.
So he's back?
I think he's back against a tough Baltimore run defense.
Bell tackled down at the 15-yard line as Bell.
He's happy.
Yeah, high kicked it a little bit. When we met with him yesterday, Bell very positive, and the questions that were asked regarding the first 3 games, he just didn't really see it that way. Didn't see it as an issue. Ben Roethlisberger echoed that sentiment, saying, look, what do you expect? When someone misses that much time coming off surgery, you expect him to immediately be an MVP candidate? He'll get there. They were both right. Yeah.
Bell said he loved the physical nature of this game. With Baltimore's run defense, he loved this type of challenge.
2nd and 4, runs into a Baltimore wall. There, Owasso and C.J. Mosley involved for the Ravens. We're down to 3:48 to play in the 4th. And now a 3rd and 4 for Pittsburgh.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Well, for Baltimore and Joe Flacco, challenging game coming up at Oakland. Then they'll be home for Chicago. There was optimism after the 2-0 start, although the opponents, Cincinnati and Cleveland, they weren't beating anybody else. On 3rd down, Bell accelerates for a 1st down. His ability to lull you to sleep and then explode up the field might be unparalleled.
Well, you know, this is almost like the old Green Bay sweep, isn't it? With Fuzzy Thurston and Jerry Kramer leading Horning around the corner. I mean, the ability to pull, whether it's Pouncey or DeCastro, or Nix at times, tight ends at times, really creative by Todd Haley and his offensive staff.
Dan Bell has 38 touches, so 34 carries, 4 catches. Bell's career high for carries is 38. Not going to hit that, we presume. Steelers fans that made the trip are getting vocal here late in the 4th.
Yeah, their towels are out. And this is why. And the trademark patience, and then the explosion, and then the ability to catch the ball has made him the most versatile running back in the National Football League. And if there was any concern about him in those first 3 games of the season, well, rest assured, Steeler fans are going to be happy with Bell.
Well, it's week 4, and Le'Veon Bell is the first running back to carry the football at least 30 times in a game. Things are changing. They've changed a lot, and they appear to be headed in that direction with the passing game being accentuated around the league.
And you know, he was the 2nd leading receiver for the Steelers last year behind Antonio Brown. This is a big year for him, too, financially, isn't it?
It is. He ended up getting the franchise tag, so it was a 1-year, $12 million deal, but the stories that circulated, he turned down a long-term deal because he wasn't quite content with the numbers.
Can you give me a franchise tag?
I can. Quick hitter, Antonio Brown extending. Flag is down, so did Roethlisberger get the free play? Or did somebody jump on the Pittsburgh side? Officials will sort it out. It was not a touchdown for Brown, just short.
Offside, number 55, defense. Penalty is declined. 2nd down at the 1-yard line.
So Suggs, the guilty party.
Really smart by Roethlisberger, too. Because once a guy jumps off sides, everybody seems to freeze. Waiting for the whistle. No whistle that time for Sizzle. You like that?
Yeah, T-Sizzle.
He just goes by Sizzle now.
Really?
Or Sizz.
Do you have inside information on that?
That's what I called him the other day.
2nd and goal. Give it to Bell. Bell is in. Touchdown Steelers. Le'Veon Bell, nice into the end zone. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are 2 minutes and 26 seconds away from a 3-1 start.
35 carries, 144, and this his 2nd touchdown. How about Nix just clearing the way for his running mate in the backfield?
Big day for Le'Veon Bell. The Baltimore Ravens will drop to 2-2. The blowout loss to Jacksonville. And this one is now 26-9, Pittsburgh. 144 on the ground, 42 more through the air, so that's 186 total, and the 2 touchdowns for Le'Veon Bell.
And we talked to you before the game about the timing between Bell with his unique style of running And it appears that 4 weeks into the season now that he's so in sync with his offensive line, especially on those plays where they're pulling out in front. And he sets the blocks up and then cuts off those blocks.
The AFC North has sent 2 teams to the playoffs in 7 of the last 9 years. And those 2 teams normally are Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Cincinnati's had an excellent run as well. So there were some years where all 3 participated. But the way this thing is sizing up, the Steelers appear to be the class of the division. The Ravens have a lot of questions to deal with on the offensive side of the ball. Boswell kicks it off, and Collins hesitated and takes a knee, coming out to the 25-yard line for Baltimore. Coming up next, the NFL on CBS features an AFC West showdown. Derek Carr and the Raiders square off with Von Miller and the Denver Broncos. We'll have it for you. Second half of the doubleheader coming up. Carr, the leader of that Raiders offense. Von Miller, one of the most dominant defensive players in the league.
Similar type of situation to today's game here. Both teams started 2-0. Both teams lost last week.
Flacco throws it underneath, and it's hauled in by Nick Boyle. We're down to 2:17 left in the fourth. As mentioned, Oakland is coming up on the schedule for Baltimore. They'll take the long trip out. Yeah, the Ravens, after the London game, requested to not have the bye. Allen with the catch. They wanted it later in the season. Didn't want it so early. This divisional showdown. It belongs to Pittsburgh. 2 minutes left.
Late drama around the NFL. 4th and 1 for the Falcons. Matt Ryan looks for Taylor Gabriel, and it's incomplete. So the Falcons have lost for the first time this season. Go to your left box there, and you'll see Jason Myers making a 22-yard field goal to tie things up for Jacksonville. Final kick of the game for the Carolina Panthers. Graham Gano nails it. 48 yards. So the Panthers have knocked off the New England Patriots in Foxborough. 33-30. We've got games going final now. Buffalo with that win. Cincinnati get their first win of the season. Detroit have beaten Minnesota in Minneapolis. And Houston, 57 points against Tennessee.
With a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson, outstanding tonight. Let's look at a couple of the numbers from that Panthers and Patriots game, because the Panthers put up 444 total yards against the Patriots defense that was already the worst in the NFL coming into tonight. Is that the key area that's the problem for the defending?
Clearly. Without Dante Hightower, some missing pieces on that defense. Stephon Gilmore, I thought, was a huge addition to the secondary when they signed him in free agency. He's not stepping up and not playing with the familiarity that they expect with many of their defenders. And so right now, they're struggling to be consistent on defense.
Even at home.
Right.
Unheard of.
Yeah, twice. Two big losses at home already now. And they could have lost to Houston very easily last week as well. Cam Newton, Ron Rivera said he wanted him to be a pocket passer this year. This was typical Cam. 316 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 44 rushing and a touchdown. I mean, this guy, when he's on form, is
a tremendous athlete. People don't realize how big this guy is at quarterback.
Yeah.
It's like a linebacker playing quarterback.
And then
when he runs, he had a run today where he just broke the plane and plunged in there and took a couple of defenders with him. You don't see a quarterback do that.
All right, we're going to get you back out to Baltimore, where it's been a rough day at the office for John Harbaugh and his Ravens against division rivals, the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll get you out there, really, for Pittsburgh to wind out the clock and take control of the AFC North.
Final 2 minutes here in Baltimore, 26-9. The Pittsburgh Steelers in front of the Ravens. Flacco throws it to Campanaro, and at this stage, just padding stats. So Pittsburgh is going to get the win to improve to 3-1. Baltimore will drop to 2-2. Cincinnati got the victory over Cleveland, so the Bengals are in the win column. Browns still looking for their first W. Ball pops free after Perriman took a shot. Ryan Shazier. He's been everywhere. Coming up for the Steelers, they will be home for Jacksonville and then big one at Kansas City. Another divisional matchup with Cincinnati in 3 weeks.
Yeah, Jacksonville may be the surprise team in the AFC so far. You got a couple of really solid running backs in Chris Ivory and Fournette.
3rd and 4. And the Ravens convert with Nick Boyle. Meanwhile, for the Baltimore Ravens, we mentioned Oakland and Chicago. Extended schedule at Minnesota. Home for Miami. The Dolphins' offense struggling even more than Baltimore's right now. Tennessee and Green Bay back-to-back on the road. Flacco, if he falls, and not on the same page. He and Perriman earlier. Flacco had a high throw that Perriman could not handle. If it was a little bit lower, would have been a walk-in touchdown. It did glance